Hello everyone, Void here, coming back at you all again for another video. This time it's really to respond to the secret lair for The Walking Dead. Now, when I did this spoiler video, I guess it's a spoiler, for the Negan and Michonne cards, I had no idea what everyone else's reaction was going to be. I reacted to it the same way I react to pretty much everything else in Magic the Gathering in the last 3 years. If it's interesting, I'll build a deck, I'll say something looks cool. If it has somewhat interesting mechanics, and that's about it. But the reaction to the video, you would think that I was upset about it. You would think that I gave this heated rant about the secret lair, because those are usually the videos that would get a negative or mixed reception. But no, I just said, hey, these look cool enough, and, you know, if they're silver bordered, that's fine. If not, guess it would be up to your play group, you know? I'm not really into the whole Magic finance. I don't talk about the impact on game stores probably as much as I should, but it is something I am concerned about, and I don't want to make it seem like your concerns about the secret lair, Walking Dead, are just ridiculous. Because yeah, you're right. I mean, these should be silver bordered. I think that is a mistake, but at the same time, it's not something I'm going to get upset about. After someone brought it up in my comments, I had no idea why people were upset about it, so yeah, I did go check out some other Magic the Gathering YouTubers just to see their reaction. And it was quite interesting because you see certain channels who, for the most part, they don't really comment about the state of the game. They don't comment about game stores. They don't really bring that stuff up. They just talk about deck techs. They make their own top 10 lists, you know, neutral content that's just about the game itself. It's not about anything economic.
This, honestly, is the angriest that I have seen the Magic community in a while.
This was a hard video to make. They say that Magic players complain about everything, and I don't really think that's fair. When you say that, you shut down legitimate criticism.
So we're going to have cards that are aesthetically, thematically Walking Dead, and also brand new, mechanically, and they won't be available anywhere but that secret lair. Okay.
We have got a WotC misstep. The internet is enraged. We have a lot to talk about as far as precedents and ignoring those precedents. And the video starts right now.
Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Chimera's Core studio, and Wizards is dead to me. That's right, not the normal opening where I say welcome to the show. No, today it's going to be a bit different. I don't know if you saw the announcement, but Wizards came out with a brand new secret lair.
And then I heard people say, oh, this is a precedent. This is going to set a dangerous precedent where you have mechanically unique cards that are exclusively sold directly from Hasbro. You only have a limited amount of time to get it. Fear of missing out. That's what it's called, FOMO. And that is really what is driving a lot of these sales for Magic the Gathering Wizards now, is these exclusive collector's items, you know, everything, special edition, mythic edition, ultimate masters, double master, like everything has to be like one-upping the previous product. If it wasn't a collector's edition before, it has to be a double collector's edition now. And it's funny too because you have the people who say, this is the problem. You know, this is the hill we have to die on. The precedent was set a long time ago, and you can even argue it wasn't even set by Magic the Gathering, but by the comic book industry. Especially in the 90s, when you look at sales, when you look at what was perceived to be a collector's item, just because you slap the collector's item label on a product doesn't mean it's a collector's item. Spoiler alert. It's sort of like if someone has to constantly call themselves special, are they really special? You know, let everyone else decide if it's special. Let everyone else decide if your product is a collector's item. So to me, that's really the original precedent, and it wasn't a good one to begin with. So I have no idea why Wizards of the Coast would want to repeat that, unless they had no interest in the secondary market. They had no interest in continuing long-term with paper Magic. That's really my issue. But at the end of the day, it's like, Wizards of the Coast does not answer to us. You know, every single YouTuber we could get on here voice our concerns, and I do think it is a legitimate concern. You know, you have Negan, you have Michonne, you have characters who are now legal in Eternal format, so it's kind of weird how you're crossing over the fantasy of Magic the Gathering and the many worlds we've created with something unrelated. That alone is pretty odd. I understand that. I guess we could say the biggest criticism is that this is going to hurt the game stores. This is something that you have to buy directly from Hasbro, kind of like the Mythic Edition that they canceled, only to follow it up with an even worse product. It's driven entirely on fear of missing out, because outside of the secondary market, You only have like a short period of time to buy these before they're sold out. That's what happened with War of the Spark Mythic Edition. It's not a great model. It's quite clear that after making these mistakes and continuing to do this, paper Magic is not a priority anymore. The priorities have definitely shifted. And with the success of Magic Arena, this is why I've never been the biggest fan of Arena. I'm willing to acknowledge it's incredibly successful, especially during a year where we have lockdowns and no one can go in public places to play games as much as they used to. You better believe Hasbro, by the way. They are so thankful that in the last few years they managed to create a successful digital platform. Because holy cow, our retail sales hurt across the board. So I see the concerns, I understand them. Why I don't get upset about it, why I'm not going to say, Wizards of the Coast, you're dead to me, is because they kind of already have been dead to me. It's just a low effort thing for me. I don't really mind. I'm going to buy off the secondary market for the most part. I don't buy sealed product anymore unless it's a commander deck. So I've already been giving them less and less of my money in the last 4 or 5 years anyway. And I thought that maybe, early on, a few years ago, talking about how Iconic Masters being sold in Walmart was a pretty big mistake. I thought maybe that would be important, but it isn't. Wizards of the Coast, they don't answer to us. They have no reason to. They make way more money. The secondary market makes them none of that. Magic Arena, that's their new cash cow. They've made mistakes in the past, but the reserved list, none of that makes them money. They have no reason to care about game stores anymore. They took away their exclusivity, so instead of being able to go to a game store to get one product, you can't get it anywhere else. Or multiple products. That's ideally what you should have done, is leave certain products to the game stores. That's the only place you can get them. Therefore, you have an incentive to go there. It's kind of crazy. You would want people who play your game to go to a place where you could play the game. Be introduced to the game for the very first time. If you're just some kid at Walmart and you've never played a game, you're not going to find a lot of people who are right there that want to play a game with you. What's even worse is that you're only really satisfying the people who already play the game, who instead of maybe going to a game store, they can just go to Target or Walmart for the exact same product at the exact same price. Yes, not everyone was just going to go to Walmart. Not everyone was just going to go to the Hasbro eBay store to buy their Magic cards. But it was a problem that should have been addressed a lot earlier on, and I think that's really why I don't care anymore. It doesn't really bother me because Magic isn't quite my number one hobby anymore. I still like it, I'm still willing to play it, so long as I have friends who want to play it. But the concerns from a few years ago, and this is really what I want to get to, about Iconic Masters being sold in blister packs to the Targets and Walmarts. This is what I had a problem with. And the criticisms back then were met with, what, you think the game's dying? Well, guess what, Void Mage Gamer? The game's not dead. So how can it be dying if it's not dead? And we had the Professor. I like a lot of his content, but he was mocking people.
This is going to kill Magic Online, probably immediately, and then, not too long after, it's going to kill paper Magic. It's the literal death of Magic the Gathering. Return to New Phyrexia has just killed Magic the Gathering. How can we survive this? We can't. It was a nice run while it lasted. It's not even the same game anymore. When you say that, you shut down legitimate criticism.
And it was funny to go back in time and go over all the times people said the game was dying, like with Necropotence, but when you have financial concerns about the game, affecting game stores, try to take it seriously. We were just met with, what, you think the game's dying? Game's not dying because it's not dead. Like, okay, maybe one day it might be though. One day paper Magic might go downhill, and we're starting to see that. We're starting to see this have a negative impact. It's like they didn't listen to your concerns with the Mythic Editions. They only interpreted your concerns as what, you wanted a different product but sold via the same method? Okay, we're just going to do the same exact thing but change it just to kind of placate people. Oh, well, at least they tried. And at least they changed it to something different. I think it's cool. I like The Walking Dead. It didn't bother me. At this point, so many things have been conceded. I'm not blaming anyone in particular, but it just seems like the sentiment towards criticism a few years ago, if it wasn't met with the derision, I think we could have gotten somewhere where paper Magic was still a priority, where it was still a product where the game store mattered, the hub mattered. But it's quite clear that Wizards of the Coast, they make no money off of the secondary market. They make no money off of the reserved list. Why should they care about the game store? Even though My local game store, by the way, I have to drive about 30 minutes to get there. But I just happened to go there on like a weekend last year, and there was a modern event. It was packed. It was frickin' packed. You had people standing up. There wasn't enough table space there, and they had a ton of tables. So don't tell me this, oh, Magic's dying, the game store should go the way of Blockbuster, because that's BS. The game was healthy. Paper Magic is healthy enough to survive. It's just that Wizards of the Coast are incredibly greedy and lazy, and they've rested on their laurels. So now we've come to a point where you have zero exclusivity in game stores now. Well, I don't want to say zero, but, you know, the good stuff. If we're going to have a Modern Masters, if we're ever going to have another one of those sets, it should only be sold here. If we're going to have a secret product, don't sell it online. Don't sell it through your eBay store. Sell it in the game stores. Help these people out. This is where people started playing your game, and now they're lambs to the slaughter. We could blame it on the lockdowns all we want, and yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. If it wasn't for the lockdowns, I'm sure a lot of these game stores could still survive. The situation wouldn't be quite as volatile as it is right now, but I still don't think the situation would be that great. Compared to 2019, 2018, it would still be going downhill either way. The lockdowns just exacerbated the problem and really drew more attention to it. This piled on by the fact that Magic Arena is successful. A few years ago, we were thinking, well, maybe Hasbro might care how they're treating the player base. Maybe Hasbro might care how they're treating the game stores. I have some bad news for you. Hasbro doesn't care either. Wizards of the Coast, they make them an insane amount of money. Not only that, but like I mentioned before, across the board, retail sales have been hurt. You have an online digital platform where people around the world are paying to win on Magic Arena. There is no way in hell that Hasbro is going to tell these people what to do. They're making them most of their money. It's insane. So they don't answer to us. They don't answer to our criticisms. They answer to their bottom dollar. And that sucks. I mean, but that's realistic. And as long as Magic Arena is still one of the most streamed games on Twitch, why should they care about you and I? Why should they care about little things like people being upset about The Walking Dead Secret Lair? Why should they care about that? They're still going to have their people that buy it. It's still going to be sold out on the Hasbro store. So they're just into maximizing their revenue. And they realize now they don't make that much money off of their game stores. It used to be where you thought, hey, we're indirectly making more money because we're drawing people to our game. Maybe that's important to us. But now they figured since we're directing people to our game through our online digital platform, Magic Arena, now that we're doing that, we can afford to sacrifice some other things. Let's become our own TCG player. Let's become our own Card Kingdom. Over time, let's just phase it out. I don't think it's ever going to go away completely, but Paper Magic, I don't think it's going to be healthy. Game stores are probably going to go the way of Blockbuster, and it's because mistake after mistake keeps happening. It's sad to admit it, but that's just reality. They do not answer to us. They only just want to placate and coast on by. If you ever wondered why they're called Wizards of the Coast, it's because they just want to coast on by. They just want to rest on their laurels and do as little as possible without having to address the player concerns. So that's why I'm not getting upset about it. I've kind of been beaten down about it, and at some point you just stop caring. I don't really know anybody who cares that much about the products. I don't really know anybody who cares that much about Wizards of the Coast and their decisions to really feel upset about it either. I think a lot of people I know, they've come to the realization that they don't answer to us. So why should we care? We'll just enjoy it as long as it's fun, and once it stops being fun, we'll just stop playing. So that's my attitude about it. Also, I just don't like being super negative on my channel. I like being more about the decks that I build, the lists that I make. It's just something I personally enjoy doing, and I'm going to keep doing it until it stops being fun. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. I know it's going to be pretty controversial, but I don't silence criticism unless people are just being incredibly combative and insulting. Anyway, have a wonderful day. Void here signing off. See you all next time.